Hello everyone. The topic for today is Naive Bayes. This is a classification model. We had already looked at one more classification model, which was the logistic regression. Today we will be learning one more, which is the Naive Bayes. So let us get started. So before we go into the model, first we will recap a bit of conditional probability which we had learned in school. This is known as the conditional probability. Suppose there are two events, event A and event B, and we are asked that given A, what is the probability that event B will occur. So that probability is equal to probability of A intersection B. A intersection B means the probability that both event A and B will occur divided by probability of A. Similarly, if we look at this one, that what is the probability that event A will occur when we are given that event B has occurred. So that probability is equal to probability of A intersection B by probability of B. So these equations we have already studied in school. Next, combining these two equations, we get the following equation, which is known as the Bayes theorem. So the probability of A happening when event B is given is equal to probability of event B happening given A into probability of A by probability of B. So this thing which I am telling, that probability of event A happening given B, we can also call it as probability of A by B. So this equation will be important for a model, and you should keep in mind for the following slides. Okay, let us recap some things about model. We will have some input features x1, x2, x3, xn. So these input features are actually the input which we give to our model. And we have some labels. Labels are also known as output. Since this is a classification algorithm, the label will be some classification, suppose 0, 1, 2, 3, so on. Features, let us recap what are those. Suppose I give you a x1, x2 represent something, some features of a cat. Okay, like we are trying to predict whether given picture is cat, dog, bird, or none of these. So we have to classify the picture into four things. First one is cat, dog, bird, and none of these. And I give you three features. The first feature is that it has 3 legs. The second feature is that it has 2 eyes. And the third feature is that it has whiskers. So based on that, you have to predict what it is. So suppose if it is cat, then you will output 1. If it is dog, then 2. If it is bird, then 3. And if it is none of these, then 0. So suppose I output 1, which is cat. So that one is a label, and the input which I gave you, the number of legs, that it has whiskers, and number of eyes, those are features. So how we apply it to our Naive Bayes model? You remember this equation from the previous slide. Okay, now let's apply this to our model. Okay, so what are we doing basically with our model? We are given these input features and we want to find out the probability of occurring Y. Same thing was with this formula. We were told that event B had already occurred and we were asked that what is the probability of A occurring. So in a similar manner, we are given some features, suppose the number of legs, whether it has whiskers or not, and the number of eyes, and we are to predict what is the probability that it is a cat. So similarly, extending this to our model, we have p of x1 by y into p of x2 by y, so on till p of xn by y, which corresponds to this thing, corresponds to this one, and then into p of y, which is this thing, and divided by p of b, and since our b is this whole set, so we'll separate it into p of x1 into p of x2 till p of xn. Since we are able to do this, we have already assumed that all of these input features are independent. Whether they are independent or not is a different thing, but for our model we will be assuming that it is independent. Okay, so we have got our formula. One thing to note about here is that this denominator will be constant all the cases. Suppose we are asked what is the probability that it is a cat, then also this will be same. If I ask what is the probability that it is a dog, then also it will be same. Whether I ask what is the probability that it will be a bird, then also this will be same. So we see that our probability depends only on the numerator. So this probability is directly proportional to this numerator. So for the next slide, you need to remember this thing, and we will be applying this formula to our model. Now I have prepared a data set, which is the tennis match data set. It is a very famous data set and it is used most of the places. So let us look at how our data set is. I have made it into a table format. So let me explain what this data set is about. We have recordings of 14 days starting from 0 to 13. Here it is 0 till 13. So we have total 14 days. And on each day we measure the output, the temperature, the humidity, and whether it is windy or not. And after that we also note that whether the golf match had occurred or not. For this data set, our input features are outlook, temperature, humidity, and windy, which is highlighted in the orange box. So all the things in orange are our input features, and playing golf is our output feature, which is highlighted in green. So for this example, we have 4 input features. First, let us look at the outlook feature. We notice that we have 3 different kinds of outlook: rainy, overcast, and sunny. Similarly, in temperature, we have 3 types of features. One is hot, one is mild, and one is cool. But in humidity we have just 2, which is high and normal, and windy we have true or false, and playing golf we have no and yes. So we have analyzed a dataset and seen what each input features mean. So before moving forward, you might have guessed one thing, that whenever we work with a model, we always work with numerical data. We cannot work with strings. So in our previous lecture, we had used label encoder to convert strings into numerical format. But that is only when we are applying it to computer models. We can obviously handle strings, so we will go on with the help of strings and we won't convert it into the numerical format. One more thing we had done is that we had dropped some features which we thought that were not required. Similarly, for this example, I will be dropping out 2 features. Okay, so I'll just take the outlook and the temperature. I will just take these two columns, and humidity and windy I'll ignore. Obviously you can take all of these into account, but for simplicity of explaining knife base I'll be just taking these two. Okay, we are familiar with our dataset. Now let's move on to the next slide. So I've compiled the Outlook dataset, and here is the statistics. So on the first row we have number of cases when it was sunny, and you can see that we have a column yes. So this 2 here represents the number of days when it was both sunny as well as yes. Yes means that the match was played. Here 3 represents that it was sunny as well as no, that the match was not played. So we can okay, we'll move to that later. Similarly for overcast we have 4 0, rainy 3 cases where the match was played and 2 cases where it was not, and total we will sum all these up, we'll get 9, and number of days it was not played was 5. So notice that 9 plus 5 sums up to 14. Okay, on these two columns we have calculated the probabilities. So this 2 by 9 represents that given probability yes, given that the match was played, what is the probability that it was sunny? So how do we calculate that? This 2 represent the intersection between yes and sunny, and this 9 represents the number of days it was yes, so it is 9. Similarly this 3 by 5 represents the probability of sunny given that the match was not played. So how do you find that? It is the probability of intersection of sunny and no, which is 3, and the probability of no, which is 5. So we get this at 3 by 5. Similarly I have calculated for the rest of the things. For overcast yes and no, for rainy yes and no, and you can see that after we sum all these it should add up to 100%, and similarly for no it should add up to 100%. So we have looked at the Outlook dataset. Similarly I have compiled the stats for the temperature dataset. This 2 represents that the day was both hot and the match was played, and this 2 here represents it was hot and the match was not played. So the probability, this 2 by 9 here represents the probability that it was a hot day given that the match was played. Similarly 2 by 5 here represents that probability that it was a hot day given that the match was not played. Similarly the rest of the columns I have maintained the statistics, and when you sum these up you should get 100. Okay, so Outlook and temperature will be our input feature for the model. Now let us look at the statistics of our target variable, which is whether the match will be played or not. So here we have the count of number of days it was yes, which is 9, and number of days it was not played, which is 5. So the probability of yes is 9 by 14 and the probability of no is 5 by 14. Summing these two we should get 100%. So we have looked at our input features, which was the Outlook and temperature, and we have also looked at our output, which is the label, which is whether the match will be played or not. Now let us finally apply this into our knife base formula. Predicting. So we will be predicting this thing. We are given that today is rainy and cool. So rainy and cool are our input features, and we have to find what is the probability of playing. So this probability is our output feature. This is our input features and this is our output feature. Now let us apply into the Bayes theorem formula. Remember, you should remember this thing from the previous slide, that this probability is directly proportional to the product of all of these into probability of y. Okay, so what we wanted to find out, the probability that it is yes given that it was rainy and cool. Let us go back to the slide. Yes, our input features were rainy and cool. And what is the probability of playing? So playing means yes. So we have formed our formula in that way as we want to find out. This is our output, which is yes. This is our input, rainy and cool. So just plugging these into the formula, we get this equal to probability of rainy by yes into probability of cool by yes into probability of yes. Just remember that it is exactly not equal to, but this is directly proportional to. And next step, I have just plugged these from the table. So how we get 3 by 9? Let's look at our table. So this is probability that it is rainy given yes. Yes, so that 3 by 9 comes from here. The probability that it is rainy given yes. Similarly, we can look from the table and get probability of cool given yes, which is also 3 by 9, and multiplied by probability of yes, which is 9 by 14. So this gives the probability as 0.0714. Remember once again that this is not the exact probability, this is just directly proportional to. Then we will find out the probability that the match was not played. So again we fit it into our formula. This no is our output, and this rainy and cool is our input. So in a similar way, using our formula, we get that is directly proportional to probability of rain given no and into probability of cool given no into probability of no. And from the table we get this 2 by 5. Let us check. So probability of rainy given no, here it is 2 by 5. Similarly, you can also check for this 1 by 5, which is probability of cool given no from the table, and probability of no, which is 5 by 14. So multiplying all these three, we get 0.0286. Next, we will normalize the two results. So the probability of yes given rainy and cool is the probability of yes divided by probability of yes plus probability of no. So we get this equal to 71.4%. And similarly, calculating for no with this thing is probability of no, this is probability of yes, and probability of no. So we get it at 28.6%. So in this formula we have just normalized it, okay, to find the actual percentage of yes and no. So we have we got that yes probability is 71.4% and no probability is 28.6%. So we can directly tell that the probability that the match will happen is more, so we can conclude that the match will be played. So this is how we apply naive Bayes to predict. So finally we have got our output, which is play, and if we convert this into a numerical format, then this may correspond to 1, as you can use label encoder and find out. But for this theoretical application I am not doing that. So this is how we use naive Bayes classifier. So in the last class we had seen logistic regression, then you might ask that which one is better. So there is no clear answer to which one is better. Different models fit in a better way to different algorithms, and we need to find out which method fits better in our data set. So you have to try different models and see which gives the best accuracy, and that comes after practicing that which model will fit our data set best. So I hope that this naive Bayes algorithm is clear to you. With this, I will like to end my presentation. Thank you.